Hi guys, this is George back here with another video and welcome to another episode here working in World of Adventure in Planet Coaster, where as you can see I'm starting work on a brand new ride, and this is going to be the signature attraction of my final themed area inside this theme park. So of course we've got this theme park themed to lots of different countries, and this is going to be the final one. This is going to be a USA area, but more specifically, Wild West USA, Wild West frontier kind of style and theme with this area. Of course, I've done a Wild West area before, and originally this park wasn't going to be themed to different countries. However, when I started having more ideas for different countries that I wanted to do, it's like I might as well just turn the whole park into a World's Fair park by this point. And of course, the Wild West area that I already had planned fit in perfectly with what could be a USA area or Wild West America area. So, yeah, I've saved this area till last. This was going to be a massive themed area, and of course, this is a massive ride that's going to be in this area. This is the standout attraction in here in this area. However, this was going to be the biggest area in this park. However, because of my poor timings with this series, I have cut a few bits out of the original plan. So my plan was I wanted to finish this series before Planet Coaster 2 releases on the 6th of November. However, I've been very busy over the last couple of weeks going to actual theme parks and also other stuff as well. So I haven't had a lot of time to be playing Planet Coaster, and therefore I have been losing time. And if I was to stick with my original plan to build the theme park how I wanted it to be, there was no way it was going to be finished before the release of Planet Coaster 2. So I have cut a few things out. I spoke about this in the last episode. There was going to be a dark ride in my Swiss area. I've also cut that out of my original plan because there's just not time for me to build it before Planet Coaster 2 releases. And then also there was going to be some other rides in this area. So there was going to be this area, this dark ride. There was going to be a big RMC coaster. There was going to be a massive hotel as well. That was going to be inspired by one of Park Asterix's hotels that I was really looking forward to building. However, I'm not going to be building that anymore. There is still going to be a family coaster in this area, though. I'm going to be building a family hybrid coaster by RMC. So originally the plan was the hotel, this dark ride, a family hybrid coaster, and a thrill hybrid coaster, and also a flat ride as well, which will still be happening. However, yeah, I have cut a few things from the original plan to make sure it's all done by the time Planet Coaster 2 releases. That way I can play Planet Coaster 2, get used to the game, get a feel for it with all the different tools and the new scenery items, and get a feel for that over Planet Coaster 1, and then start a new series in there. In terms of when the new series is going to start, I don't know yet because I think I might wait a couple weeks so I can kind of play the game off camera, get used to it, because I've heard it is a bit different to playing Planet Coaster 1. So I want to get a feel for that game and get used to Planet Coaster 2, and then I can like watch other people's videos and try and get tips and kind of think about how I really want to do this and like that kind of thing. Like just get some ideas, some inspiration, some tips, figure out the game for myself before starting my next big project in Planet Coaster for YouTube. So that's my plan at the moment. So in terms of when the series is going to start, yeah, a couple weeks after the game releases, most likely. However, maybe I'll change my mind. Maybe I'll film my first time playing Planet Coaster as a little kind of like playing the game for the first time video. I don't know yet. I might film my first time and just kind of play around with all the different tools and build some rides and just have a look at the game, a first look at the game. But yeah, I don't know if I'm going to do that yet or not. I'll just have to see what happens. So in terms of this dark ride, you've seen a lot of it being built over the time where I've just been talking away. So you can currently see one at the start of one of the scenes. So this is going to be a mine shaft, this scene just here. So the story with this ride is that there's a group of bandits and they're trying to blow up this western town, and you're working with the sheriff to try and stop them. This ride is interactive as well, as you may have seen. So you're going to have the guns on here. There's going to be targets for you to shoot as well, which I've wanted to build one of these for a long time, and I thought that this is the time to build it because it works absolutely perfectly with the Wild West area, with shooting all the targets and the sheriff and shooting the bad guys, like that kind of storyline. So that's the idea with this. So this section is going to be a mine shaft theme, and you'll learn more about the story of all these different scenes as we get further into the video and I build more scenes. So to start with, you're going to go through the sheriff's office, which you'll see me building later on. There's going to be some big scenes in this ride as well that look like you're outside. Some big grand scenes with high ceilings that you're going to see being built later on in this episode. I'm going to be building this dark ride across 2 episodes. So most of it, the inside is done in this episode. And then in the next episode, I'll finish the last couple scenes and also do the exterior and also build the family coaster as well and put the flat ride in. The next episode will be my final episode building in this series. And then in the final episode, I'm going to open the park, show you some POVs of all these rides that I haven't shown POVs for yet, and also talk a bit about Planet Coaster 2 and what my plan is for that, and just talk a bit about the game because, yeah, my plan at the moment is to release the final episode of this series on the 6th of November when the game comes out. So originally it was going to be the day before Planet Coaster 2 releases. Once again, because of my bad timings and because of how busy I've been, that's now not going to happen. So there's going to be 3 days in a row of Planet Coaster. I wasn't originally planning on doing that. I was originally planning on uploading one every other day. However, once again, I've been busy, so I've not had time to make that happen. So there's going to be 3 days in a row of Planet Coaster on the 4th, 5th, and 6th. And then, yeah, we're going to be having a bit of a break from Planet Coaster. Of course, we then got Alton Towers fireworks over the weekend, which I'm really looking forward to. I'm going to be visiting there for the first time during fireworks. I wanted to go and watch the fireworks at Alton Towers for absolutely years. And this year it's finally going to happen. And I can't wait for it. It's going to be a display themed all around the Phalanx and also Nemesis Reborn as well, which I'm so excited for. I'm going to be there all 3 days and I'm really looking forward to it. So, yeah, there's going to be no Planet Coaster action then. However, yeah, my plan is when Planet Coaster 2 does release, I'm just going to spend as much as possible time that day playing it and then probably the next day as well, because I don't think it's been released until 3 o'clock, like 3 p.m. in the UK. So I think we're going to be waiting for a lot of the day to be playing it. So I'll have a few hours on it that day, but then I think it's mainly going to be the Thursday, the 7th, that is going to be my day where I'm literally just going to get on the game as early as I can and just play it all day. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Just kind of building all these different new rides, experimenting with all these new tools and scenery items. Of course, we've got loads of different new theming pieces to use. There's going to be like Viking stuff and mythology. Of course, I built a Greek area in this park, and now they've announced that they're doing a whole mythology scenery pack for the new game. It's like I might as well have waited to build that until the next one. But you know what? I do really like my Greek area, and I'm looking forward to experimenting even more with that theme in the new game with a full massive mythology area, like a Greek mythology area. I'm really looking forward to building that. And of course, all the new rides as well, the water parks as well. That's a massive part of Planet Coaster 2 that I'm looking forward to. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to trying out this new game and seeing it for the first time. I've watched lots of videos already of it, and I'm looking forward to actually playing it myself. Here we go. Whilst I've been talking all about that, you can see another massive scene going in just here. So this is going to be the biggest scene in the ride. So this scene, you can see there's star cloth, or there's going to be star cloth everywhere. So this scene is going to look like you're outside and you're going to be going through this Wild West town. So you're going to start off in the sheriff's office. We've got another sheriff's office just here. But you can see some different buildings going in just here. So we've got a bank over there. There's the sheriff's office, a hotel. I do change the positioning of the hotel, or I change the building completely for the hotel. I change that one and build a bigger building for the hotel instead, a bit further back in the scene. So you'll see that later on. Here we go. You can see lots of theming pieces going in just here. So yeah, lots of TNT and dynamite's going to be going in here. Of course, the bandits are trying to blow up this western town. So there's going to be lots of dynamite around the place. But yeah, so you're going to start off in the sheriff's office where it's going to be like, right, get out there, go and capture these bad guys. You're going to come into this scene, which is going to be the biggest scene in the ride. You're going to go through this town looking for the bandits. You're then going to go into a saloon, which is going to be the next scene. And whilst you're in there, there's going to be a big explosion, which is going to blow a hole into the wall of the saloon. And that's going to open up an abandoned mine shaft, which is the scene that you've just seen me build. The idea of that, playing in with the story, you're kind of uncovering this abandoned mine shaft as a shortcut to kind of cut the bandits off to be able to catch them more easily. That's the idea. That's the kind of story behind that scene just there. So that's the point that we've got to so far in this ride. And then in the next episode, I'll be building more of the scenes and also the exterior of the building as well. But for now, you can see lots of different buildings going into this main scene just here, really making it look like a proper Wild West town. You can see a prison going in just there with all the bars on the windows. Yeah, there's going to be lots of signage that I put in later You can see that I'm mainly working on the shells of the buildings at the moment, so I will do in a minute. And then I kind of come back to them to put all the details on them, like the windows and doors and all the banners and stuff. So you'll see all of that later on. But here we go. You can see a train track going in just here now. So this is going to go from one side of the room to the other, and then there's going to be a station for the train as well, which you're going to see go in shortly as well. So you can see the track kind of bending round just there, making sure it's not in the way of the ride itself. And then this is where the train station is going to be. Of course, all these buildings are fake, they're just there for show. However, you can see a massive train that's theming piece that's been put down as if that's made its way out of the train station and going through this town. This is where the saloon's going to be, so there's going to be all signage and windows up here that you're going to see, and then that next scene in there is going to be a big saloon with loads of different tables, and there's going to be a lot going on in that scene, which you're going to be seeing later on in this video. Here we go. You can see the train station is just going in now as well, making sure. I wanted to make sure this was quite a big, grand building, with it being one of the signature buildings in this area. Like, this is the train station in a Wild West town, so this has got to be one of the kind of eye-catching buildings. And there's going to be a lot going on. Of course, even without the interaction, there's going to be a lot to see. But the fact that this ride is also going to be interactive, you're going to have the guns and shooting all the targets. This is going to be a very action-packed ride. So here we go. You can see more buildings going in just here, some scaffolding as well. The targets will be going in later on as well. You'll see all the targets going into this scene in the next episode, but you will see the targets going into the saloon in this episode. So you'll see that's the next scene I work on the ride, putting all that in, and then yeah, all the targets go in there as well. In terms of the targets and actually making it interactive, it's really easy. I have had a test with this already. So you can put all of the targets down and then put all the roofing in, and then you can select the whole building when you go the targets up. It's pretty much the same as if you were triggering any other effect onto the ride. So it's really easy, and then you can just drag across and select the whole thing, and then it selects all the targets automatically, and then they're all connected, and then you can actually play the game as well. So in the final episode, as well as talking a bit about the series and Planet Coaster 2, I am going to go for some rides as well on the POVs for rides that I haven't shown you yet. Like, I haven't shown a POV of either of the coasters in my Chinese area. So there's going to be 2 coaster POVs coming up from that. I haven't shown a POV of this, obviously. That's going to be saved for the final episode. And I'm actually going to play the game in that final episode as well and see what score I can get on this ride. So I'm looking forward to being actually able to play. Of course, there are already targets in the mineshaft scene. That's where I actually tested it. I put a few targets down and then just made sure that I knew how to work it. It's like I selected them all, making sure they were all synced up with the ride, and then I actually went through for a POV, and then I shot all the targets in that scene. So yeah, I'm looking forward to connecting up all the targets and having a full completed ride with all the targets in. So there's only going to be a couple of scenes where there's no targets, the first scene and the final scene. And you'll see why in a minute, because that also ties in with the story. Well, you won't see it with the final scene in this episode, but you will in the next episode. But with to make sense with the story, that's the way I've done it, to make sure it all works with the story that I've come up with for the ride. So you're going to see me working on the first scene in a minute, which is the sheriff's office. So the idea with that, you're in there, and it's like the sheriff's like, right, get out there, get into this town, capture the bandits. There's going to be no targets in there, because at that point you're just in the sheriff's office. There's no bandits in there. I want the point of this to be like, you're shooting the targets, but you're also trying to capture the bandits as well. There's no bandits in the sheriff's office, so there's no targets, no need to shoot anything in there. Also, the final scene, there's no targets in there, and you'll see why in the next episode, because that is also going to play a big part into the story and the finale of this ride, like how the story ends. Here we go. You can see that the star cloth is all done now. You can see some rocks going in just here, make it look like we're in this classic like frontier desert kind of location and setting. All the cacti going in just there as well. And then yeah, there will be a lot more details going on to all these buildings as well, which you can see. So that big building in the middle there is a hotel. This building is the horse stable. You can see I'm using carousel horses to look like horses, because that's the best thing we have in this game. There's no like horse animatronic or anything, so that's the only thing I had to work with this. So I had to use those ones. It doesn't look great, however, it's better than having no horses in there. Here we go. You can see all the windows going onto the station just here as well, and you can see the sign going up for that as well. Lots more details on all of these buildings just here. I wanted to make sure they all looked a bit different. So you can see I've used a variety of different types of wood for all these buildings here, making sure they didn't look exactly the same, just to make it look a bit more interesting. I will be programming the ride to make it spin into different scenes as well. With this ride, you can kind of position the ride to face the way you want it to. So I will be doing that as well. You're going to be facing different points throughout the scene. You're going to be spinning around and into different parts. So you can be like shooting behind you and then you're going forwards again. So yeah, that's I'm going to be working on that, making sure that you can pretty much see everything, because of course there's going to be a lot of points where there's theming behind you and you're not going to see it. So I want to make sure that you're going to be able to see everything. So therefore, with you spinning around in all the different scenes, that'll be an opportunity for you to see everything. You can see all the signage going in just here now. And here is the start of the saloon. You can see I was trying to put an animatronic on the stool there to make it look like it was playing the piano, but that just didn't work. But yeah, here we go. So you can see the bar going in just there, a piano, that there would be someone there playing it if there was an animatronic that looked like that. You can see lots of other details going in as well, like all the windows here, lots of tables going in that are barrels as well. You can see there's lots of chairs going here as well. So yeah, the barrels are the tables, and then there's going to be one which you can see just there that's going to explode as well. However, that's not going to be the explosion that opens up this mine shaft. There's going to be another explosion that effect that I'm going to put in a minute. But here we go. So you can see all of that going in. A lot of the wall space is empty for now, and that's because that's where all the targets are going to be. So you can see at the moment, there's not a lot on these walls. You'll see that these banners go all around the side of the building, and then that's where the roof's going to be as well. It's not going to be a particularly big scene in here. So that's where the roof's going to come down to. But yeah, all the wall space is where the targets are going to be, basically. So there's not really loads of details on the walls because I wanted to make sure there was space for the targets. Here we go. So you can see all of these banners going up just here. The classic Wild West banners. There we go. Moved those wheels on the door as well because I was worried it was getting too close to where the ceiling was going to be. And there we go. You can see more chairs going in just here as well for the tables on the other side of the saloon. There we go. Making sure they all look a bit different, of course. I want this to look very realistic. This is as if people have actually been sitting here and they have been using this saloon and coming in here for drinks and stuff. So yeah, I wanted to make sure that it wasn't all like perfectly positioned chairs and stuff. I wanted it to look like people have actually been using it. And so they look a bit different. There we go. So you can see that just there, a couple more windows going in as well. And then soon you're going to be seeing the explosion going in. So you can see all the dynamite crates going in just here. And then there is the big explosion that's going to open this door that's going to lead into the mine shaft. You can see some animatronics going in just here. This is going to be a very action-packed scene because not only are you going to be shooting the targets, there's also going to be lots of animatronics in here. Lots of them have guns as well, so they're going to be going off. They're going to be triggered up with the ride, so they're all shooting at each other. And so yeah, it's going to be very action-packed. This, and then of course you've got the massive explosion as you exit as well to go into the mine shaft. So this is going to be one of the most action-packed scenes in the ride. So you can see all of the final details going in just there, putting some stuff around the side of the building, lots of big boxes and things on the walls. And then soon you're going to see all of the targets going into place. There we go. So there are the targets. You can see them all going in just there as well. Using the smaller ones for these ones. I did try using the bigger ones in the mineshaft scene, but I didn't really like the look of how big they were and how much space they took up. So I decided I'd just use the smaller ones for this ride because then I just thought it looked a bit better. Here we go. So now you can see me working on the sheriff's office. This is the first scene of the ride. Not a lot going on in here. This is just the entry to the ride where really you're going to come out the sheriff's office into this town. And that's where the ride, like the shooting, will begin. But other than that, that is pretty much the end of this video here. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure to follow me on Instagram at George Kelly and follow me on Twitter at George Kelly. Thank you very much for watching. Stay safe, everyone, and I will see you all later. Bye.